Hello, my name is Henry, and today I'm going to be talking through what I would do if I were in year 11 now, about to take my GCSEs in 2 months. For a bit of context, I got a 9 in all of my subjects, so 10 9s, and I'm just trying to release as many videos as I can to help out, explain how I did, what you guys can do, just to kind of maximise your grades and improve them. So please subscribe now and leave a like. I'm going to be releasing loads more videos, kind of what I do in Easter, every month, and close to dates every week, and kind of talking through my stress, specific subjects, anything like that. And I'll try and respond to all comments too, so please, if you have any questions for me, then leave a comment and I will try and provide a good response. So I want to talk about a couple of things first before we kind of get into a bit more detail. The first thing is, it's definitely possible to improve your grades significantly in 2 months. In November, my November mocks in year 11, I got a 3 in chemistry, so I failed it. I didn't know what was going on, I had no clue. And in January, so 2 months later, I got an 8 in chemistry. So it really is possible to massively improve your grades in 2 months. And the other thing I just want to say is to relax as well. 2 months is a long time, and these GCSEs aren't everything, and it is fine. A lot of people have talked to me about stress and how I dealt with that. I'm going to be releasing a video on that soon, but stress is very normal, and I definitely felt it too. So into the kind of more detail of it, my first piece of advice is anyone that has coursework that still needs to be handed in, prioritize the coursework massively. So DT was probably my worst subject, but I spent so much time on the coursework because 50% of it was coursework. So I spent so much time, and that meant that I got a 9 in my coursework, and this took a bit of the stress off the exams for me. So anyone who has coursework that they still have to hand in, I'd really recommend going over it in so much detail, looking at grade 9 answers, or grade 9 examples, and kind of trying to copy bits of them, just make it like the grade 9 ones. So I'd really would recommend prioritising coursework for now. Obviously don't forget about everything else, but that would be my advice in terms of that, because that really does help. Secondly, it's kind of on a bit from my 3-month video. Now is time to kind of start doing a bit more exam technique, things like that. So I would start doing weekly questions in humanities subjects. So this would be kind of 1 English question a week. It could be a 15-mark English language one, or a 14-mark English language one, or a history question, anything like that. But I would do 1 a week for each subject. So probably maybe 1 English or 2 English questions, English language, English literature, history, geography if you do it. And I would do this because writing a question, I think when you start writing it, it's actually not too bad. So it's difficult to kind of get distracted when you're actually writing it. And 40 minutes of writing an English question is 10 times better than 40 minutes of note taking, anything like that. The best way to improve in these subjects is just to do them, hand them into your teachers, get the marks back, and work on the feedback and do it again next week. Just repeat this process in between the week. If you did it on every Sunday, for example, you could kind of do a little bit of revision on how to improve it, or just subject revision as well. If your teachers aren't willing to mark your work, then you could try and find a tutor, look online, look at the mark scheme, try and mark it yourself, things like that. But even so, writing one would still help with timings too. So I would recommend setting out sometime a week to write 1 English question. For geography, you could do a couple. You could do a couple 1 markers, 2 markers, and ask your teachers for a set of example questions. They can be found online if you Google practice history questions. I'll put some in the description too to help. My next advice is spreadsheet. So for those of you who haven't seen my video on how I got a 9 using kind of technology, I used something called an Excel spreadsheet that I created, which basically helped me work out which subjects I was worst at. So it did this by, I'd rank all my topics in each of my subjects. I'd write them down and I'd rank them between a 3 and a 1. And anything that was a 3, I was not competent at and appeared as a red on the spreadsheet. I'm going to put a picture of this in my community section as well on my page, so take a look at that. And this allowed me to kind of work out which subjects I was bad at, and which ones I can improve, and which ones I should target. Because this is the most important thing in revision, in my opinion, is if you want to get consistently very, very good grades, you need to know what you're bad at, and you need to prioritize that. It's quite simple. but a lot of people neglect it and just revise what they're good at. So think, what subject is my worst subject? What topic in that subject is my worst? And revise that. And my spreadsheet is available to buy for those of you who can't create it or anything like that. Just send henry@brand.uk.net an email. I'll put that in the description too, if you want me to create it for you. But it's really important you know what you're bad at so you can improve it. Next, my advice would be Seneca. So I talk about this in every video, and I probably will continue to, because in my opinion it's the best revision resource. All subjects are on Seneca pretty much, and I will be doing a video hopefully within the next week, 2 weeks, on how to use Seneca effectively like I did. Because a lot of people, and I used to, just kind of like click through Seneca and then like scroll back up for the answers and stuff. But I'll be doing a video on how to use it effectively. This here is my kind of planner from when I was in year 11, and in the communities page of my channel I'm going to be releasing kind of photos from what I was doing each week when I was in year 11, and most of my work was Seneca. I would say about 50-60% was Seneca of different subjects. So I would recommend to everyone, if you like Seneca, obviously if it doesn't work for you that's fine, but I think it's very, very good, to try and aim to go through the Seneca of each subject at least once, the entire thing at some point. So you can break it up into one topic a week from now until GCSEs, that would work. But I'd really recommend Seneca. The bulk of my vision was on Seneca, but a video will be coming out on that soon. Next would be flashcards. I would start flashcarding your subjects, so actually going through them. You can still be creating them too, but use the technique that I've done a video on. You can check out my flashcard video. But I basically have 3 boxes of flashcards. So I'd have a daily one, this is for my A levels, a weekly and a monthly one. Anything in the daily one I'd try to go through once a day. If I got it right, I'd move it into the weekly one, and then I'd do the weekly one once a week. If I got the flashcards right in the weekly one, I'd move it to the monthly one, and if I got it wrong, I'd move it into the daily one. So it basically works like that, and I'd just try and go through all my flashcards that I needed to every day, and then eventually they'd move up into week and month. So I'd recommend that. You can make a flashcard plan. That's what I've done, and that's also in the community section on my channel, just to kind of help you with that too. So I'd recommend that. Finally, I would recommend having a routine. So I talked about this in my last video too. It's important to keep that routine. Try to be going to sleep at a similar time. Try to turn your screens off and stop revising at similar times. Maybe give yourself a rest day, but routine is important just to kind of get in the flow of things for exams. It's honestly so much better to do 30 minutes of revision without a phone, concentrating, than kind of 4 hours, and that 30 minutes is daily, then 4 hours just kind of every so often, and then you get burnt out and stuff. So small bits of revision, so 1 topic of Seneca a day for each subject is much better than kind of 4 hours on your phone, not really focusing. And lastly would be to relax. I didn't do this enough in my GCSEs, but I would really recommend every 2 weeks, every week, if you wanted to build in rest days for yourself, to give yourself some rest, go out with your friends, things like that. If I went back into year 11 now, I would give myself more rest and just try to enjoy things more too. So that's my advice. Please leave anything in the comments, any questions, or feel free to email me. And I hope that helps. Please subscribe too. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos just to try and give you guys an update on what I would be doing. So thank you for that.